welcome to this session in your Cumulus Client Conference. This is online fulfillment, how to streamline your fulfillment process. So we'll be going over the things listed here, and I'm just going to kick right off and talk about different shipping integrations. So these are integrations with carriers like UPS, FedEx, USPS. We used to do them all individually. We are now doing all our integrations through ShipEngine. So ShipEngine we interface with, and if you set up an integration with Celerant and ShipEngine, then after that you would set up your carriers. So either USPS, FedEx, UPS, etc. That would be set up through ShipEngine. If you have a current account, I believe you can add that to your ShipEngine account, and that would integrate with us. And that I will just show you briefly how that looks. So from your main screen, you'd go to fulfillment. Actually, under admin, integration configuration. Your implementation manager would help you set this up, but basically you would install or setup would make this available, and then you would put your API key in there, and you would get that from your ShipEngine website. Besides the integration setup, there's another task that gets set up, and that is the ShipEngine import carriers and service types. So make sure that is active, and basically that just updates your system and gives you all the options available from the carriers that you have set up. Okay, but your implementation manager should work with you and set that up. So aside from that, one thing you want to make sure is that your shipping address is set up. So under admin and system config, you would select your store and edit store name, address, and settings. So you have your regular address, your billing, and your shipping address here. This is what's used for purchase orders, but for the shipping integration, there's another address down here. And it looks like you can copy it right from up above. And I don't think these are going to be in use anymore. They're still there, but ShipEngine doesn't have a button, and that's what you'd be using for setting up a new integration. So just make sure that's set. We'll save that. And you'd have to do that for each of your stores that you're using ShipEngine with. Most people ship from just one location, but just let you know if you happen to ship from 2 locations. All right, so I got a restriction there. I don't need to save it on my system anyway. Okay, so shipping methods. So back under fulfillment and setup, under shipping methods is where you can set up those shipping methods. So I have a few set up through ShipEngine with UPS, FedEx. Also note, well, there's a USPS there too, but in-store pickup. So if you utilize that method, you would set that up to be on your website. You'd probably hit the use with e-commerce. Now, a lot of people would set up just regular shipping, which I have here on their website, and it just was going to display shipping. So, and I'll show you how to set up the rates later. And that way, the customer or your customer doesn't need to really know whether you're shipping USPS or FedEx or USPS. That's something you would want to decide. So on your site, you would set up an e-com shipping rate. So you choose your shipping method, and maybe just shipping method is available online. And then you would pick your rates. Now to set up rates, you click new. You make sure you get your correct shipping method there. Now it does say weight here, but it actually goes by your price. So you can do measurement up to, and this would be a price. So let's say up to $50, you're going to charge $7.99 shipping. So you can add that rate, and it drops it down here. And then for maybe $150, maybe you're going to charge $10.99. Again, I don't have a real great way of deciding what to charge, but this is how you would set up the different rates. So maybe measurement up to $299, and you're going to charge $12.99 at rate. And then you could do to have anything over that, maybe you don't charge shipping. So anything up to a big number. If you try to put a 0 here, it doesn't let you. So to get around that, you put 0 dot several zeros 1. That way it is a value, but it does show 0 here and it doesn't charge. So, all right, so that's how you would set that up. You would save that. And if you refresh the search of your shipping rates, you'll see there it is. Now, again, the measuring type. It's not going to let you change it, but it actually does use dollars. And I believe that's the subtotal of the online receipt. Okay. All right. So shipping exemptions. So let me go back here under setup. Shipping exemptions you need to set up if you do not want to ship to everywhere. So again, I don't have any there, but if I hit new, it gives me, and you could just, like I've done before, set up exempt. And then a lot of our US clients, which is the bulk of our clients, set up to just ship within the United States. So what you would need to do is go through and check everywhere you don't want to ship. So anything that's not a state, so we have all the Canadian provinces and Guam and so etc. I'm not going to go through and pick them all, but then you would save it, and then your e-commerce site would not allow shipping to anything checked off here. Okay. And shipping tax codes. So there are two different things involved here with the shipping tax codes. If you ship within your state, most likely you need to charge and collect tax. I live in the state of Maine and I set up a couple zip codes. So if I edit those, you'll see the country, the state, and zip code. And I left department and type blank because it doesn't matter. So it's going to just go for all, and it's going to charge $5.50 or 5.5 on the subtotal. I don't know what I did for this other one, but let me look. So this is 10% to this zip code. So depending on the zip code, you need to charge the correct amount of tax. So you can set this up for each zip code. I believe you can look online to get all that information. You may be able to talk to your implementation manager. I think there's a way to import these, but check with your implementation manager and see if that's allowed. Also, the difference in it varies different by state. So if you ship enough to go over the state's threshold, then you may have to add shipping for another state. But most of the time, you don't have to charge shipping for out of state. So that's why you just need to set up the state you're in for your shipping codes. Now, there are also some states that you need to charge tax on the shipping itself. So if you're charging $10 for shipping, they're going to make you charge tax for that. And the way you set that up is you do new, And let's say I still pick my state of Maine, and I'll just leave it blank, and you can add shipping here. Now, it may not be a department, like these are all departments in my system, but it has it there. So if you need to charge tax for shipping, let's say 6.5%, then that would, on those orders, charge for that shipping. And you see it set up there. All right, next on my list, order states. So order states, I believe, are states attached to the orders. I may or may not be able to demonstrate this very well for you, but they have triggers. So if an order is canceled, it will trigger the order state to show, it'll change the order state to cancel. And you can go in and change these, and it is kind of a manual process except for the trigger. So trigger would change the order state. I think it's under customer order status. Let me just look here. Can't change it there. Maybe you can do it here. So back to the order states. From your shipping queue, which I will do ship customer orders and search. If I look through the pending orders to ship, there is an order state here. So ready to pick, ready to ship, etc. Now these are only set by those triggers that I mentioned. So I found this documentation. Automatically assigned order states, pick waves and fulfillment process. Seeing orders, looks at the orders in this state, determines if there is enough on hand, and assigns the order state. So we have new order, back ordered, ready to pick in full, ready to partially pick, pick exception, all picks generated, picks partially generated, etc. So that's the definition. I believe in Cumulus, I don't see a way that you can edit these. I think maybe Stratus has a way you can manually edit them. All right, so I'm just going to jump back to here and talk about the picking tickets. So when you get an order, there's really two places you can look. Where I'm looking here, but that's the screen that you go to ship. You probably want to go first to your picking tickets. Now this will show by default not fully shipped. So if you look here, these would be all the orders that I would be, like this one here is ready to pick. So if I click action and print selected, it's going to give me a picking ticket. And if I hit print, it's going to give me a little better view of what that looks like. So this would actually, the barcode mean is the same as the receipt number, not the web order number, but the receipt created in your back office. So there's a difference. There's a web order number, and then there's the receipt number. So these are the items. You would print this out and have somebody go pick these items either from your back stock or your store. And this is just a place you mark off that they're picked or they're back ordered. So once you have the order, the idea is to keep this with the order, and then someone can just scan that ticket to process the shipping. So once you're done with there, I don't have a scanner to actually print that and scan it, but you do the ship customer orders. You could, instead of just clicking search, you could scan that receipt number into here. Now it's obviously that 3187 order. So I could just look at that one and then select it, action. So I could view the order or I could do the shipping. Shipping method, package types, pick another shipping method. If there's an issue with your shipping method, because this one is by default to in-store pickup, you could just set it to, say I want to do UPS ground. So I can make that change. You notice when the screen first came up, it wanted to start here. Now, this is a bad test order, so there's nothing in it to ship. So I'm going to back out of there. Back here, I'm going to reset and hit search and see if this might be a better, maybe this one. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure what the yellow is indicating here, but you'll see it does default down to here. Basically, you want to change, you see the order quantity and then the to ship. That's what you want to fill in. So you could scan the barcodes in here and pick the quantity to ship, or you could use the ship all and it will just fill in both. You do have the option to come back up here and change your shipping method. But what you need to do there is then, after you do that, now, if you have ShipEngine, you can use your check rates button at this point. I'm going to put in a weight. So let's say it's going to be 2 pounds. Check your rates. Yeah, all right, so my ShipEngine is not really integrated, so it doesn't work. But what that would come up with is a page that would show all your different shipping carriers and your methods available to do the shipping. And then you could select it here, and then it would attach that method to this package. And you can just go ahead and ship. And let's see, if I don't check rates, if I just finish packing. So with an integration, it would have popped up with a packing list, an invoice, and a shipping label. And again, I can't really demonstrate that perfectly here, obviously. I don't have the actual integration. That's the picking ticket. So, but that's the process. You would see your orders back in the picking. You do your picking, and then when you go to ship it, you would select it, action, do shipping, and process the order. Once the order is processed, it comes off this list, and it actually goes into your shipments. So I don't know if I will have any actual, I do have some. They're a little, so this was the latest one. It doesn't look like the last one I did actually worked. But the process is from shipments, you can view the order. You can actually void the shipping. You can see the tracking number on screen here, but you can also hit track shipment and it would reach out to online for whatever the shipping method was, give you a link to do your tracking. So a way to come in here is something that you did ship, you want to track it, you can go in here and find it. Gives you the option to reprint your packing list in case it didn't print out correctly. Actually edit the tracking number. So if you want to put in a manual tracking number, you can add that to an order. So now if I just refresh the screen, I have that tracking in there. Print list will just print out this screen. Reprint label would reprint the, it's not going to print for me because I'm not set up with the integration. But you would be able to. And mailing label is just it's just a way to print the address. So not something commonly used there. Let me go back to here. All right, so we'll talk about the orders as far as editing orders. So for that, I'm actually going to create a test order from point of sale. I'm going to put a customer on there. And then I'm going to make my transaction a special order. Special orders and web orders are synonymous, pretty much. They work the same. And let me just find a product. I don't have that many products in here, so I'll just add 2 products. All right, so I'm going to add shipping to this, transaction settings and shipping. And again, this would, coming from the website, it would probably just be your shipping, and you have to pick an address. And if you want to charge freight, you could. Let's say I'll do $7.99. Here's another place. If you are going to do shipping from your actual point of sale, instead of it being a web order, then you can use the check rates here as well, and it would show you the different amounts, the different carriers and how much the charge would be. Obviously, you'd have to put a weight in there as well. But with me just setting this up as a test, I'll just do that, and I'm going to pay. I'm not going to do the free thing. I'm going to pay with cash and just finish the transaction. Oops. Because it's a special order, I got to enter it. Pay and finish. So now it's a paid for special order. So back to a web order coming in, it's oftentimes easiest to look it up by customer. So if I bring myself up, and I got a parent relationship going on, sorry about that, but if I want to look up an order, I could, once I have the customer on there, this would show me any open layaways or special orders. So this is the one we just did. Let's get that date on it. So I bring that up to the point of sale screen. So from here, if it's a web order, which I'm pretending this is, you can cancel the order or edit the order. We'll start with an edit. So if maybe this item is not in stock, you're not going to be able to fulfill this order. So from your screen, you can remove line, and you'll see that the quantity went to 0. It's going to keep it on there because it was on the original order, but it does offer now to issue a credit, which would be a store credit, or reimburse. So depending on the way your credit card processing is set up, reimburse, if you click reimburse and you have tokenization set up and everything is set up correctly and it's available with your processor, it would come up and say, do you want to issue a credit to card number ending in whatever the card number was. So it didn't do that on my system and is not going to. I don't have integrated credit cards on my system, but that is an option that is pretty nice once it's set up. So for me, I'm just going to say yes, I'm going to take a cash credit. I just do pay and finish. Now, this is a question you got to be careful with, because especially with web orders, if you click yes, it's going to close the order and say that everything's been picked up. Now, this is a setting basically for in-store pickup, or for the layaways or special orders, to let you know that the customer has picked it up. And it also, if it's a web order and you say yes, it'll remove it from your shipping queue. So we're going to say no. And we don't need to print it. In this example, I would be getting cash back. Now we have this order out there. If we go back to back office and look at picking tickets and just search, never mind all those other ones, but this is the one we just did. So if I print selected, now it does, like I said, it saves the items from the original order, but we did an edit. So there's a 0 quantity on this one. So this would be all that needed to be picked. So I'm going to close that back up, and let's pretend we couldn't find that item either. So it is still sitting in here, but we want to remove the other item, or basically cancel the whole order. So again, from point of sale, I'm going to bring up the customer, and again, go to transaction type, layaway SO installment, select the order, click OK. And now if I hit cancel, so are you sure this customer is canceling the special order? Yes, we can't fulfill it. All right, and then you get another option for reimbursement. So again, if you click reimburse here and click OK, it's going to bring you to that pay screen. If you had the integration, it would actually offer to charge back the card. If you wanted to sorry, it doesn't give me the question anymore on the second time. So I'm going to just actually cancel this transaction. I'm not going to cancel. Oops, sorry, can't remember where things are. Canceling here does not cancel the order. Canceling here does. So I'm going to just get out of it real quick. So it asked me that question again. And again, I'm going to bring up that order that's open. All right, so if you click yes, they're canceling. Now the no credit would not try to reimburse any of their money. Sometimes people use this if they just want to go to their credit card portal and manually refund the customer. So you can go to whatever the portal is for your credit card that you use to take the order. You go to the portal and you could refund the money. So that would be no credit, and click OK. And I don't need to print it. But now if I jump back to here, well, before I do it, it's the 3287. So I'm going to just refresh this list. 3287 is gone because it's now a canceled order. All right, so let me do another one. Find transaction type, special order. Let me put a couple of items in there again. Well, let's pick 2 items. All right, so again, to get it into the shipping queue, and your web orders would have some kind of shipping attached. So I'm just going to add shipping again. Select, and yeah, let's do the same. Well, yeah, do the same amount. Save. Okay. So now clicking the no pay button would just save this order, and that's what I want to do. So I'm just saving the order. I didn't take any payment on it, but actually your web orders would be fully paid. So yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Let me revert that. I don't want to get too far into regular special orders. I want to stick with the web. So I'm just going to, sorry, I just should have paid for it. So I'm going to pay in full. $15.79, pay, finish. Now again, with you just want to be careful with the pickup message. So you want to say no, that it's not being picked up. So again, that's the way an order would come in as it sits now. So you would just see it back here. You say, yeah, let's print that, and go pick it. And let's say we got the 2 items, and that's fine. Then we would go, and we want to ship it. So we ship customer orders. There's the order I just did. Action, do shipping. Again, you can scan the barcode. So if I were to be able to expand that to see the barcode. normally couldn't do that, but yes, I can. So you could say I'm shipping this and I'm shipping that. So you can just put the numbers in there. Again, you could also use the ship all. Currently, you have to put a weight in there in order to get by here. And then you would do the finished packing. And I didn't change the shipping method this time. All right, well, normally the packing list would come up. Afraid it's not working in my system currently for some reason. Again, I edit a lot of documents, so I may have that one not working correctly. Because even if I did reprint it on the reprint though. So this is the default packing list, I believe. There may be, yeah, that's it. Bill to, and then the ship to up here. The items, there's return codes here, and there's information if it has to be returned. So it would ship from the customer back to you, the vendor or the client. Anyway, so by default, the packing list, an invoice would also print. There's not a way for me to reprint that. And if you had, obviously, a shipping integration, it would print out your shipping label. If we look at, sorry, I'll just go right back to that shipping. So to void shipping, that does, if you're using an integration, it will void the cost of that shipping. So if you have a reason, you need to, like, sometimes when we're first setting up, we test that. So we ship a test order, but we don't actually ship it just to make sure the label's printing and everything. So then we go back and void it. You may have a reason to do it in your real world situation. That should just, like, let's say this one we first did. Let's void that. Yeah, it's just not letting us. But it does put a void. It does add it when there's voided shipments in your tracking number. So another situation is a return. So this last one here is fully shipped, and that's our receipt number. So if we wanted to do a return after it was already shipped, so it's a closed order, there is, let me find it. On my system here, sorry. There is the regular returns, but I thought there was a return to original store button. I may be able to do it this way because I have, because this is actually a store one receipt, so it's not like a web store receipt. If there was a web store, you would have to make sure the right receipt number came up, 3288 dash, whatever your web store number would be. But again, if we wanted to return both of them, same idea. Just like this is a regular return anyway, but it would be similar to that. And then the reimburse, again, if you had a credit card on there, it may offer to refund that credit card tender. So I'm just going to do it to cash, which is the original tender for my system. But if you are set up with tokenization with your processor, some processors have that available, some do not, to be able to instantly credit back your card. All right, I'm going to jump back in here, and I went a little forward with the due shipping, the shipments. I think I covered all that. Finish packing with multiple boxes. So you do have the option. I am going to have to create another order. Transaction type, layaway. Oops. I'll just make a special order again. Find product. Oh, let's pick a different product this time. Let's do something here. We just have 2 products. Again, I need to add shipping to make it go into the shipping queue. I won't charge freight this time. Okay, so let me pay for this. Cash. Pay, finish. Alright, so now we have a simulated web order again. So I'm just going to jump to ship customer orders. This is it. So if I go to do shipping, and I'm just going to ship this first item. So I can tell it to ship that. I can tell it this is going to be 6 pounds, and I can do next package. So then I can, now this says in package already because I just told it I put it in a box. So then I could select the other one to ship on that one. And this one's going to be 8 pounds. And next package there. That way it separates it out. So when your shipping label prints, it will be 1 of 2 and then 2 of 2. Finished packing is also available down here if you want to finish it up from there. And again, a little lacking in showing you exactly what happens, but the 2 shipping labels would have printed, packing list, and invoice also. Talked about the packing slips already, and the web returns, and the tokenization. So that is pretty much it. A little too bad I can't take questions during this, so I hope this was informative for you. And thank you very much for joining our meeting.
That concludes this session. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please reach out to your implementation manager or account representative. Don't forget, you can refer to the Resources tab under the top navigation panel to download session outlines and more from all of our sessions. Also, be sure to visit our partner booths to check out their special offers and connect with them to enter their giveaways. We'll see you in the next session.